morning, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Crazy D's Equipment. Today we're out at the farm and it is just nice to be out of the office. So today we're going to talk about lesser known or tractors that you've probably never heard of. So guys, what I went and did here is I went and picked a handful of companies. Some of these tractors you may heard of, some of these tractors you may not have. But I went and picked tractors that I had either I've had contact with, or maybe I've owned one in the past or something, or they're just a company that I liked and I thought was really interesting and I wanted to share with you guys. So otherwise, with that bit of information given to you guys, let's go ahead and get this started.
Graham Bradley tractors were built by the Graham Page Motor Corporation of Detroit, Michigan, and sold by Sears and Roebuck to go along with the line of David Bradley equipment that Sears and Roebuck had offered for years. The Graham Bradley was not the first attempt of selling a tractor by Sears and Roebuck. In the early years, they had tried to sell the Bradley tractor, which ended up being an absolute flop. The Graham Bradley tractor had the same 6-cylinder engine that you would found in a Graham Page automobile and a rear axle from a Graham Page truck that was modified to work in the tractor. There was two different models of it, a 103 and a 104. The 103 was row crop, the 104 was a standard tread, but they built very few of the standard treads, probably only about 400 of them. Unfortunately, the Graham Bradley tractor suffered the same fate as the earlier Bradley tractor and was a complete flop, mostly due to the lack of a dealer network or the ability to source parts or to have somebody come out and work on your tractor. This was Sears' last attempt of trying to sell a farm tractor. The John Blue Company of Huntsville, Alabama, had started building farm equipment in the early 1880s and was well known for their horse-drawn equipment and specialty equipment for tobacco and vegetable farming. But they didn't attempt to build their first tractor until 1970 with the Blue G1000. The tractor was rear-engined and had an open view so you could look down as you drove over the crops, very similar to a Model G Allis Chalmers. It was 16 horsepower, but unfortunately it ended up being a flop, and it did not catch on. They only built about 200 of them, and it brought the John Blue tractor manufacturing to an end. The Gray Tractor Company of Minneapolis, Minnesota started building tractors in 1910. It was definitely a unique looking tractor. Instead of two rear wheels, they had merged them together in one large drum that was driven by a chain off of a large 4-cylinder Wisconsin engine. These tractors were definitely built in the time before we had decided what a tractor was. A lot of experiments and different designs were coming out. Gray built a few tractors, all on that basic drum wheel design, but their most popular tractor was the 1525. The 1525 probably is what you've seen most at shows and stuff of this tractor. A very neat thing about Gray tractors is a lot of them were sent overseas during World War I, sent over to France. They were used in all different aspects of the war effort. There's even an article I read a while back about a group of French soldiers that were working on trying to armor one of these to be able to cross no man's land. Unfortunately, I don't believe anything ever came of it. The Bates Steel Mule was built by the Bates Manufacturing Company of Joliet, Illinois. They began manufacturing tractors in 1919 and built tractors all the way up to 1937. The Bates Steel Mule was definitely its own design, more of a half-track than as a tractor the way you and me would think of one today. You can definitely see the inspiration from the Holtz tractors of that day and time. Bates built a few tractors, but their most popular tractor was the Model D. It weighed 4,900 pounds, it had a 4-cylinder engine in it, and it gave you about 20 to 15 horsepower. But unfortunately, Bates Steel Mules went the way of the dinosaur, like many companies did during the Great Depression. The Eagle Manufacturing Company of Appleton, Wisconsin was founded in the 1880s and built their first tractor in 1909 and built tractors all the way up to World War II. Their most popular tractor was the 1325, also known as the Model H. One of the neat things about the Eagle Manufacturing Company is they were the very first tractor company to ever put a 6-cylinder engine in a tractor, and they did that in 1930. After World War II, Eagle Manufacturing never started up the tractor line again, and they are just another one of those many names of agricultural manufacturers that have disappeared. The Leader Tractor Company was a small tractor company manufactured in Auburn and then later in Chagrin Falls, Ohio in the early 40s. The company was founded by a father and son team, Lewis and Walter Breckway, in Auburn, Ohio. They spent a few years in Auburn, and then due to the lack of a post office, they had to move the company down the road to Chagrin Falls. They built a few different models, but their most popular model was the Model D. The Model D was about 2,500 pounds. It had a Hercules IXB5 engine in it, which was a 4-cylinder motor. The little D was suited for truck farming and had power takeoff and 3-point and a belt pulley. They were really popular for a while, but the company ended up with financial problems and disappeared.
So guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like this video, please hit like, please share. Feel free to comment. I enjoy reading your guys' comment, but otherwise, I will catch you next time.